The United States just quietly pulled some of its most powerful air defense systems out of East Asia, and almost immediately, Kim Jong-un started moving. This is not a coincidence. This is not random timing. And this is not a small story buried on page 7 of a defense report. This is a global power shift happening right now, in real time, and most people have absolutely no idea what it means. Let me explain. For decades, the US has maintained a network of advanced missile defense systems across East Asia, Patriot batteries, THAAD systems, interceptors designed to knock ballistic missiles out of the sky before they reach their targets. Japan has them, South Korea has them. And both countries have built their entire national security strategy around the assumption that those systems, backed by American muscle, would always be there. But here's what's really happening right now. The Middle East is on fire. Iran has been launching missiles and drones at US bases, at Israel, at Gulf partners. The pressure on American air defenses in that region has become enormous, and the Pentagon has made a decision, a very consequential decision, to redeploy critical Patriot assets from Asia to the Middle East to plug the gaps. On paper, it makes sense. You move the shield to where the fire is burning. But here's where it gets interesting. When you move the shield, you leave something else exposed. Think about what Japan and South Korea are actually facing right now without full American air defense coverage. North Korea has one of the largest ballistic missile arsenals on the planet. Kim Jong-un has spent years and billions of dollars his people don't have, developing missiles specifically designed to overwhelm defense systems. Short-range, medium-range, ICBMs, hypersonic glide vehicles, multiple warhead systems. His entire strategy has always been, if we launch enough, fast enough, some will get through. And now, the systems designed to stop them are being shipped to another region entirely. You have to ask yourself, if you were Kim Jong-un and you watched the United States redirect its most advanced missile defenses away from your doorstep, what would you do? Because Kim Jong-un just answered that question. Reports are emerging of intensified missile activity coming out of North Korea, more tests, more launches, and more ICBM-class movements being tracked. The frequency has gone up, the boldness has gone up, and this timing is not accidental. Let's be clear about something. Kim Jong-un is not reckless. He is calculated. Every single move he makes is designed to extract maximum leverage at minimum risk to himself. He watched the US get drawn deeper into the Middle East conflict. He watched Patriot batteries get crated up and flown west. And he saw something he has been waiting years for, a window. A window where the United States is stretched. A window where allies in Asia feel uncertain. A window where a show of force costs him very little but signals enormous power. One theory is that Kim is simply testing the waters, probing, watching reactions, seeing how much he can push before anyone pushes back. Another possibility is that this is coordinated, not necessarily with Iran directly, but there's a broader alignment happening between Russia, China, Iran, and North Korea. A quiet understanding that when the US is bleeding attention in one region, the others apply pressure everywhere else. But there's also a darker explanation. What if this isn't just testing? What if North Korea is actually preparing, using this window to advance its capabilities to a point where any future confrontation shifts decisively in their favor? Because here's what we know. Every time the US gets distracted, North Korea doesn't stand still. It accelerates. Now let's talk about what Japan and South Korea are actually feeling right now. Because this isn't just a military calculation. This is a psychological crisis for two of America's most important allies. Japan has Article 9. It has constitutional limitations on its military. It has built its defense posture almost entirely around the American alliance. The understanding was simple. You host our bases, you follow our lead, and we protect you. That deal is now being stress-tested in a very public way. South Korea sits across a narrow border from one of the most militarized countries on Earth. Seoul, a city of 10 million people, is within easy artillery range of North Korean positions. Without layered missile defense, any escalation scenario becomes catastrophic almost immediately. Reports suggest that officials in both Tokyo and Seoul have been raising urgent questions behind closed doors. What are our contingencies? What happens if North Korea launches a mass strike during a Middle East escalation? Are we on our own? And here's the part that should really concern you. If your allies start genuinely believing the answer to that last question is yes, the entire architecture of American power in Asia starts to crack. Japan is already quietly accelerating its own defense buildup, the fastest military expansion since World War II. South Korea is in serious conversations about its own nuclear deterrent options. These are not small signals. These are countries that are beginning to hedge. If you're finding this breakdown useful, hit like and subscribe. This channel covers exactly these kinds of hidden shifts before they become tomorrow's headlines. Now zoom out, because this is where the full picture becomes genuinely alarming. The United States is currently managing the following simultaneously: active conflict dynamics in the Middle East, India air defense resources being drained, and Iran that has demonstrated willingness to strike U.S. assets directly, Israel demanding constant support, Gulf allies needing reassurance, and in Asia, North Korea escalating, China watching every single move with strategic patience, Taiwan still unresolved, and two major allies beginning to question the reliability of American protection. Early signs indicate that military planners in Washington are aware of the strain. The problem is that awareness and solutions are two different things. You cannot be everywhere at once. You cannot have infinite interceptors. You cannot fight two simultaneous major conflicts without something giving way. History has a name for this: imperial overstretch. It doesn't happen overnight. It happens through a series of decisions, each one reasonable on its own, that cumulatively pull a superpower in too many directions at once. And right now, the United States is living that exact scenario. Here's the part that keeps defense analysts up at night. Modern missile defense systems don't just need hardware, they need interceptors. The actual missiles that shoot down the incoming threats. And those interceptors take time to manufacture. They are expensive, and reports suggest stockpiles have been under serious pressure due to sustained operations in the current conflict. So here's the equation: interceptors going west to counter Iran, production struggling to keep pace, North Korea watching stockpile stress in real time, Kim Jong-un understanding that the window gets wider, not narrower, as this drags on. You have to ask yourself, what happens if North Korea decides to launch a large-scale barrage not to start a war, but to simply overwhelm a weakened defense grid and demonstrate the vulnerability? One successful mass launch that exposes gaps in South Korean or Japanese air defense doesn't just cause physical damage, it destroys the credibility of the entire alliance system. It tells every US ally in the world, you are not as safe as you were told. And it tells every adversary, this is the moment. We don't know exactly how many systems have been moved. We don't have complete visibility into current interceptor stockpiles. We don't know what private assurances the US has given to Tokyo and Seoul to manage their anxiety. What we do know is this: the decisions being made right now about where to position limited air defense assets are among the most consequential strategic choices the United States has faced in a generation. And the window that North Korea is operating in right now is real. The shield is thinner than it has been in years. Kim Jong-un knows it, China knows it, and quietly, nervously, Japan and South Korea know it too. The United States has always managed its global commitments by projecting the image of unlimited strength, the idea that it can handle every threat, everywhere, at the same time. That image is cracking, and if one missile slips through, if one calculation goes wrong, if one escalation moves faster than the defense systems can respond, it doesn't just change the situation in Asia, it changes everything. The real question isn't whether US allies are worried right now. The real question is, what happens when worry turns into action? And that's where this story is heading.